Hi everyone, I'm Elyse and this is your mini intro to Pilates. I'm going to go over a few things that are useful to know before you jump into a class, especially if you are new to Pilates. So number one is breathing. Now this can feel a little bit backwards, especially if you're coming into this from a yoga background. It can be easy to get a little bit lost with whether you should be breathing in or breathing out, but don't worry, it is my job to let you know what you're doing throughout the class. If you are ever in doubt though, a good rule of thumb is that we exhale on the exertion. Sometimes that is a crunch, but often in Pilates, it's where your limbs are furthest away from each other. So let's have a look at our breathing. You're going to sit however is comfortable for you and take your hands to your ribs. We're going to inhale through the nose and allow the ribs to expand into the hands. You're going to make sure those ribs expand 360, so out to the sides and forwards and to the back. Then with your exhale, it's out through the mouth like you're blowing out a candle and let the ribs come back down. Okay? Do that a couple of times. Inhale through the nose, ribs expand. Exhale through the mouth, ribs come down. One more time. Fab. Okay, let's add our engagement. So the two are paired together. So you're going to pull the ribs down, number one. Then you're going to pull the belly button in towards the spine. So it's like you're doing up a tight pair of jeans, but you're not inhaling and lifting the ribs as this happens. These happens on the exhale and you keep the ribs down. So pull, imagine having your hand here and you're trying to pull the belly away from the hand. Okay. So once you've got that belly in, the transverse abdominis, the TVA engaged, you're then going to lift the pelvic floor as well. So pelvic floor, you've got front passage, stopping the passage of urine. Back passage, stopping the passage of gas. And middle passage kind of feels like you're drawing up an elevator in the middle. Okay, so let's have a little go, pop it all together. Hands to the ribs, inhale through the nose, ribs expand into the hands. Exhale through the mouth, pull the ribs down, pull the belly button in like you're doing up your jeans, and then lift the pelvic floor, urine, gas, and like a lift in the middle, like an elevator. And then relax. Now this part is important as well, is the relax portion. So as you inhale, relax the ribs, let them expand, relax the pelvic floor, feels like a bit like a full feeling in the bottom, okay? So inhale here. Exhale through the mouth, pull everything in. Imagine it being like a corset, drawing everything in. Ribs down, belly in, pelvic floor up. Inhale through the nose, ribs expand, and everything feels relaxed and full. Okay, so that's our Pilates breathing. Now the pulling the belly button in towards the spine, the engagement of the TVA, the feeling of doing up a tight pair of jeans, that brings us on to our point number 2. In Pilates, you're often going to hear people cue a neutral spine or cue the back towards the floor. That is engaging the TVA. And basically what we don't want is for you to be arching the back and popping the tummy out and not using those muscles, okay? So we're going to go through a little exercise now. Come onto your back. We're just going to do a little dead bug brace so that you can feel what that feels like before you head into your classes. So onto your back, lift your knees up over your hips, take your hands to your knees. We're going to exhale through the mouth, pull belly button in, ribs down, and then try and lift that pelvic floor. Now notice where your spine is. Do you have a little arch in the back? Can you slide a hand underneath your back? See if you can pull that belly button in so that your lower back goes towards the floor. So a little tuck of the tailbone, a little push of your lower back into the floor. Have you still got the gap? No? Okay, keep it that way through the exercise. Taking your hands to your knees, we're going to exhale through the mouth, push that lower back a little bit further into the floor and push your hands and knees together. Do you feel that shake? Fantastic. See if you can get your knees a little bit further away without arching the back. Can you do that? Fantastic. Now, if this is stable for you, you might be ready to move on with exercises. These exercises, feel free to relax. These exercises are going to feel like often like extending one leg away from you. Now, as you do that, your back is going to want to arch. So you've got to use those muscles that we used in this exercise here to keep your back towards the floor, or at least neutral. When we say neutral, it means just not moving from your natural position. Okay, so for this extending the leg away, you exhale through the mouth. So there's your engagement, belly button, ribs, pelvic floor, and then try and touch the floor without lifting the back up, okay? Now, through your exercises, they might get more and more difficult. So as you extend the whole leg, if your back does want to arch, you've gone a little bit too far. So you're going to regress the exercise a little bit, stay with where you can control, okay? So if you would like to try this exercise with me now, take your hands to your knees, Exhale through the mouth, pull the belly button in, ribs down. Push the lower back to the floor and see if you can go with the bent knee. See if you can take that leg away from you without arching the back. Good, pull it back in. Exhale through the mouth, try the other side. Inhale through the nose, pull it back in and relax. So every time you extend the leg, make sure that your spine stays nice and still. If it does arch, come in a little bit more, point up towards the ceiling. Don't go as far as you arch, okay? So that means that you are not using the right muscles. Pull it back a little bit and stay with that one until you've got the strength. Which brings us to point number 3. Harder is not always better. Say it with me. Harder is not always better. Pilates is about precision and control. If you're unable to perform these harder exercises with precision and control, that means it's probably on the more difficult side for you. So you need to take an easier option where you can stay controlled. If you choose to do these exercises that are too difficult for you, the chances are you're going to do it incorrectly and you are not going to improve this way. So try an easier option or take a break, and that is where you're going to build the foundation to get the strength you need to perform those exercises correctly. And that's it. Be sure to take these tips with you into class, and I'll see you there.